you, sir. I am Bernadette Paluray from BS Environmental Science 1, your student in Check 103 Section VB. So I don't really believe that here in Philippines, we should not adopt federalism. So what does federalism actually mean? According to Cliff Notes, federalism is a type of government in which the power is divided between the national government and the other governmental units. It contrasts with a unitary, and these are the two competing layers of government, or to be precise, two parallel authorities, and each equally exercising sovereign power over the citizenry. Through federalism, it promotes division of orders with their leaders within the region. Federalism promotes clear assignment of functions to different levels of government. Federalism also emphasizes greater local autonomy and territorial development. So, why I disagree that the Philippines should not adopt the form of government called federalism is because there will be no unity inside the country. And besides, knowing that our country was not really united when we talk all about languages, culture, traditions, because of ethnic groups. In fact, after imagining what will happen if federalism will rule over this country, it seems like there will be an unfair treatment. Examples: if region A is rich and then region B is poor or has an incapability to be rich, there will be illegal processes inside the region and will might cause or have the reason for them to steal and have corruption inside that region. There are some point on newspapers and articles that federalism seems well united for the Philippines. Yeah, but in reality, it become a recipe for disaster in the country that is already divided by language, religion, and economic inequality. Some studies shows that only a few regions are capable of raising enough taxes on their own. Majority of the provinces here in the Philippines, which will be submerged into new federal states with the lack of basic administrative capacity for generating revenue. Yeah, that's unfortunately bad. Not to mention duplication in taxes and further stress on the inceptive bureaucracy of peripheral regions under federal arrangement. So in developing countries like India, Iraq, and Nigeria, federalism has either failed to close developmental gaps and ethno-communal tensions among various states, or more worrying, in some cases, reinforced and refined them over the decades. In places such as Yugoslavia, a federal setup eventually collapsed into a genocidal civil war. And moreover, a federal system could further strengthen the power of political dynasties and warlords who really controls the Philippine boundaries. Yeah, according to some academic studies, around 178 so-called political dynasties, politicians related by kinship and blood, controlled 73 out of 81 provinces across the country. They also controlled up to 70% of the legislature, thus they seem likely to remove any proposed restrictions on the proliferation of political dynasties. Under a federal system, they are best positioned to dominate the newly created local legislature and state institutions, further consolidating their grip on power in the country's power regions. So it's no wonder that most surveys shows the majority of Filipinos are either against constitutional change or completely unaware of its implications. Should the federal system form fail, there will be no turning back and returning to the old system, and the breakup will be more devastating in its effect. Yeah, on the component states than on the states in a federal system formed by the coming together of independent states, while the failure of this latter type of federation will simply mean that return of the component states of their former status as separate independent states. In the case of the Philippines, however, each component states will find itself without moorings and become prey to annexation by other states. Federalism will magnify or encourage regional differences. The rise of village tyrants and village despots will be more probable than the rise of a national dictator. So states may become so focused on local development and security that they neglect national concerns and issues. So as for me, it should not even though each region will have their own freedom in creating their own rules in places where they were in, but there are some regions are not capable and not that ready to be in the new form of government and to be independent, which is the federalism. So I think that would be all, sir. Thank you and God bless.